when we came to, we put the flex plate on, and when we came to fit, we just trial fitted the converter bolts in to try to make them fit, so make sure that when we got all the Bruno unit in, that they would actually go in and screw in. But the holes that we used to use with the old iron block and old sump were being covered up by the new block and sump, so we had to figure out a place that was accessible to be able to put the converter bolts in and tighten them up and torque them up. That's you might be able to hammer them in, but you've got to be able to put a socket on the end of them. So we had to drill a hole in the motor plate behind the starter motor. That was the only place that would actually allow us to put a bolt in by hand, screw it in, and put a socket on. So that was the first hurdle.
Manual Lenco transmission, but using the torque converter.
Right.
So that's like the front automatic transmission.
Yeah.
Which pumps oil around the torque converter, and then that then fastens to the Lenco, which is a mechanical gearbox sort of. Instead of having all the hassle of the clutch.
All that dirty nonsense with the clutch.
Yeah. I could go on the normal Pro motor, Pro stock tips, clutches out after every run.
Right.
Skim it and all that. This eliminates all that.
Manky clutch rubbish. You can always tell the clutch monkey because he's always covered in.
Although just for fun, we do tend to take it out quite a bit.
just because we've got nothing to do.
Just in the. It's more greasy, isn't it? I don't want any automatic transmission, then they'd be good at doing this. I've done it more times than that. I had two, there's only one left, isn't there?
It's the converter got straight in my head.
Yeah, that would have hurt, I would imagine.
Yeah. A lot. Well, I can hold the converter in because I can hold it in through the. Right down. It's going to come down.
Hang on, got to get round the dash somehow.
You have to tip it, don't you?
Yeah. Back a bit to me.
Hold up.
Hold on.
Okay. I've got the converter, so don't worry about it. Well, it could be the because the converter's different now, isn't it? So it could be the converter that's different. We'll have to lift the car up and I'll have to get some feeder gauges in and measure it. Okay. Before we tighten everything up. Oh my lord, there's way too much there.
What's it supposed to be?
Fucking 3.2 mil to 4.5 mil.
These plates here, can you have some thicker ones of those, can you?
Well, I might have some. So.
Yeah.
All of that fits in there.
About half of it. Or
yeah. This is the thing you get. You can't anticipate something not fitting right or something not working quite right, and it's the ability to make it work and make it fit that all of us have got. Me, Tony, Mark, Arthur, John. We've all got the ability to look and say, oh, okay, we know why that's not fitting. Let's make it fit.
once you grab the back edge.
That's it. And then we put the starter motor on, which I told everybody had already fitted it on, and it fits. And yes, it does fit when it's on an engine stand, but doesn't fit with the motor plate on the back.
An inch? Aye.
I'm alright then, 25 mil. Yeah, I'll just mill that off there.
Is that what he wants taken off?
Yeah.
Well, he wants to go in. I don't think I've just scraped on the edge of the block, so I'd need to go
So,
eighth that way and an eighth that way in that shape, which is ridiculous. Yeah.
If we had a milling machine, it would be really good. I haven't got a milling machine here. I wish I had, but I haven't. So we had to use a milling machine stroke grinder to make the starter motor work. That's right.
It is going, yeah.
That's only just enough then, innit? Because I can't whittle it.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see it's.
Yeah, I just need to, you can actually see it from here, my shape's pretty spot on.
Pretty spot on, you're happy with that?
That's a bit more. Must have been coming here.
I can see it, yeah.
So we took it out, it's a bit more.
It's there, right in the bottom corner, isn't it? 3 hours before it started, motor on.
Couldn't make it up.
No. Well, in fairness, Chevy blocks are supposed to retrofit. He told me that they retrofitted, and it doesn't quite retrofit.
Yeah. Just not quite.
Motor manufacturers spend 2 years every single day of the year on a new car, trying things and making things and hoping that they'll work, and sometimes they don't work and they have to revise and redesign and that's what we have to do sometimes. But I mean, to be fair to John, there ain't much we've had to revise. There's been a few things which it always is the way, but only bits and pieces which we always expected. We didn't go into the car to say, oh God, you know, it should be perfect and there's a real way. There's just this in a car like that. Everything is R&D, and we make sure when we put it together here, we make sure that everything's tight and everything's as good as we want it to be, and then we go out and try and keep looking at things, and then you find out if something doesn't work or not, and you hope that you don't find out as it's going down the track, but that never happens. We're always happy about the suspension and steering and all that kind of stuff with the car.
Well, that's the throttle body and air intake. How many millimetres is that one, Andy? 105 mil. That's the oil tank. Links up with the dry sump. Peterson Fluid Systems. Nice bit of kit. Nice bit of welding. Transcooler. It's the newer, bigger one we've had made up. With strengthening bars across there because it was tending to bow out with the heat. And obviously the vehicle's radiator. The odd bit of battering in it now. It's perfectly alright. Electric fans on the back. So yes, all that will be going on. And the obligatory Magnacore leads, which are kindly sponsored Andy. I always use these because I think they're brilliant. Injector dynamics.
So you got them going in as well as the ones off the fuel rails, is that right? It's after the test weekend when he says we have to add another 4.
Yeah, well he wanted another 8, but that's all we could fit in. Another 4.
Only 20 injectors.
Only 20, yeah.
Only 20 running all the time.
2 on each. 2, 4, 6, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. Another 4 on the injector hat there. That's 20. And then you've got 4 auxiliaries that blow into the turbo intake, which obviously add more fuel, but also act as an intercooler.
Sweet.
24 total. Because those now don't quite fit, because these new risers that we've got are just lifting that rail up too high for those holes to marry up, so we shall doctor it slightly and it'll fit perfectly by the end of the day.
Well, day 2 was more about making pipes and fitting pipes and fitting all the pipe work and wiring back on, because that takes the longest time on this. The actual engine fit into the car was 10 minutes, and then fitting everything else around it just takes a lot of time because there's so much, and you have to check as you're putting the stuff in. You have to check every single thing, everything, tighten every nut and bolt, tighten every hose end, and double check. So that's what takes the time. Plus, it's been 6 months since we fitted it. We took it apart, so you have to remember where everything goes as well, and that's a little difficult sometimes. Mil spec connector. Everything's mil spec. Proper aircraft.
Aircraft stuff.
Right, so that's got to go for the auxiliary injectors, so that's the front. This is the crankcase pressure sensor. This one goes down this side for the auxiliary injector. You have to, just about there. And this one is this side. Machine.
Sure, it was pretty clean at its first run.
We have oil pipes to the engine. The video Tony cleaning it. Just Mr. OCD himself.
Every team needs one.
Yeah.
Can't sleep if it's doing.
Even though it had the point of the note before. Look at that.
1 year's free tax. Jesus. It's fantastic. Ah, yes. Like a bit of eggs, it can run up to the shoulder.
Almost.
Oh, alright then.
I don't know how to do it for the money off. I really don't. Bigger holes. So we just fettle this and clean it, and jobs are done.
That's all your fuel injectors.
Yeah. It just takes any sharp edges off the inside. It will all line up like it was designed. Well, we hope it will, anyway. Oh, just. Yeah, that's just gonna do it.
Big enough, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to have more of a quack sound to it.
You go.
He's happy with that.
There you go.
As clean as it's going to be.
How's the underneath of it?
Fine. There's an O-ring inserted into the face.
I'll tell you what is missing.
What?
That we've got to feed through the manifold.
That is.
A big long one of these. It's going to go from here to the bottom of the manifold. After getting it all together and doing the injector rails and getting it all, we did a kind of bit of a check surprised us that the engine cranked over with a battery that hadn't even been touched for 6 months. So well done, Exide. Awesome. Is the fan connected?
I thought so.
The fans are plugged in, yeah?
And then we checked everything and then found the fans didn't work, and spent an hour trying to find out why the fans didn't work, and also why the battery wouldn't switch off, which was a bit of an issue, because when the battery doesn't switch off it could cause problems.
It's very strange. You've got things working with the master switch on.
No, hang on. I haven't got the ignition on, have I? The fan isn't working. Yeah, try the ignition on. It's first switch next to the starter one. No. That's going to be the switch to a relay, that is. And just going to find out which one's a relay, which one's a fan relay. I'm sure the fan relay is this one.
It's going back to the battery by that.
Whoa!
By that big lead, isn't it?
Yeah, the battery's off now.
The battery's off. It still spins over. I never used to do that. I never used to do that. That means these. Never did that. Never. That tells I've done that. Battery on. Never done. There's something all been altered. And the only thing that I know of this car, it was different when I came to it yesterday, was this was all done. So, to me, there's something here. It's changed. Is an earth lead now bolted on a pos or something?
Well, I think I'd just short and melt, wouldn't it?
Not ways like that. I can't think, you know what I mean? He didn't do that last year. Last time I was with this guy, he didn't do that.
All them wires are supposed to be off.
Yeah.
Unless it's mounted onto the switch together or something. I suppose one good thing is at least we've found it now. Rather than finding it.
When you relied on it switching up.
It's been sat in the truck. Yeah.
We didn't figure out the fans. It was too late for that. We had to go and get it loaded up and get to John's. So yeah, it was that was a bit frustrating.